Men support women and women support women. That's what I'm going to title this video. I'm going to say that one more time so you can let that sink in, because that one statement alone is probably going to help you identify not only majority of the problems in society, but that's going to 100% show you why the dating game is so messed up and why men and women not only don't get along, but find it harder to date one another than ever. Let that word sink in. Okay, say that one more time. Men support women and women support women. Okay, one more time. Just let that sink in. Marinate on that. Men support women. Doesn't matter the behavior. Men today support women. Doesn't matter how terrible or how fucked up the behavior is. Men support women and women support women. I'll give you a few examples of this. Okay. Let's look at what will typically happen. I've known this on multiple occasions. Let's say a guy is dating a girl, okay? Dating a girl in an exclusive monogamous relationship. He'll try and slide in and talk to a different girl, okay? Or he'll try to cheat, basically. He'll try to go sleep with a different girl. You've seen this all the time. I've seen this all the time. I don't know if you have, but between growing up over the past 10 years, my social circle, clients I've worked with, people in general, like, here's what I've seen. Guy's dating girl, okay? Monogamous, committed, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, slides in or starts to talk to a different girl. So he's attempting to set up a side girl or to go and cheat. Not saying that that's right or wrong. That's for you to decide, okay? But what I'm saying is stuff like this happens. Guy will go and talk to a new girl, okay? Girl code is typically held to a much higher level. Can that man get away with it from time to time? Yes, if he can oftentimes keep it under the rug. But I have seen numerous times, and I mean numerous times, where that other woman who he's now talking to will have that other girl's back despite not knowing her. She will find out that he's with a different girl, okay? She'll find out that he's with a different girl, or he's dated her for a certain number of weeks, months, or years. Here's what will happen. She will actually go out of her way to reach out to that girl to say, hey girl, he's trying to slide in. Hey, you know, I think this is your man, or I think this is your boyfriend. Can't believe he's doing this. Here's the proof. Bam. So now not only did he lose out on the girl he was about to talk to, he actually probably lost the current girl too. Okay? You have to let this sink in. Men support women and women support women. So that's the first aspect of how women support women. But now let's take that exact same scenario and let's reverse it. Let's just take a second and reverse it. Okay? Girl has boyfriend. Girl is getting sick of her man, or girl is losing attraction. So what does girl do? Girl goes and starts flirting with Jeff or Frank or Tom or any guy in her direct message box, or any guy at work, or any guy at the office. Okay? And here's what will happen. He will get the hint that she's trying to fuck. And once he gets the hint that she's trying to fuck, since he's so weak for sex, since majority of men are complete slaves to women, okay? Men do not support men. So what will happen is, despite that girl being promiscuous, despite that girl being terrible, despite that chick not being worth a whole hell of a lot, that guy will still go and try and fuck her. And he'll do it without caring about the other guy whatsoever. He'll do it without looking out for the other guy whatsoever. He'll do it with no fucking remorse. And then on top of that, what the guy is going to do is he's going to go and brag to all of his friends. He's going to go on all of his friends, and he's going to try to think like he's some hot shit, like he's some big dog. He's going to go to all of his friends. He's going to say, yeah, can you believe Kayla? Can you believe Kylie? Can you believe Susie? Can you believe Becky? Can you believe Amanda? Can you believe she wanted to fuck? Yeah, she's been dating Tom for years. Yeah, he must not be very cool. He must not be putting it down right. Look at me. Yeah, I've been fucking Kayla for the past 6 months. Meanwhile, she's dating some guy. What a sucker. That's how the conversation's going to go. So, look at that for a second. Let that sink in one more time. Men support women, and women support women. If you look at the division between men, this is 100% calibrated and done on purpose. Let's just take this one step further, because there's two scenarios that I said with that line: men support women and women support women. But I didn't go to the other aspect of it, and here's what I mean by that. Men are so weak for a woman's sex. Men are so much so slaves to the feminine that men support women regardless of poor behavior. She can act like a total okay? Nowadays, zero social repercussion, okay? Zero physical repercussion, zero mental repercussion, and she still gets to fuck and sleep with she still gets to sleep with the high value guy, quote unquote, the baller or the guy with money. And on top of that, she probably can still support herself and her own income strictly by being promiscuous, no matter what. Zero social repercussions, okay? Let that sink in one more time. Men support women. And not only that, I'm going to add one condition to it. Men support women regardless of behavior, okay? Here's what I mean. You could take probably the worst female, okay? I'm talking a girl who will consistently cheat, right? Maybe she makes her living doing some sort of sex work with a million bodies, okay? Now, will the highest caliber guy commit to her, the highest value guy? Probably not, if he understands his worth. But you would be surprised just how many rich men, high value men, even successful men are completely fucking blind to their own worth. We live in a day and age where men are so blind to their own value, they literally feel as if they don't have any at all. They will consistently feel that not only is the girl at the upper hand or at the advantage, but they will consistently never feel enough that they bring the right things to the table to where a woman would naturally want to desire them, or that a woman would naturally want to love them and be there for them. So this is what you're going to see. Men support women, and I'm going to add a condition to it. Men support women regardless of behavior. So what does that mean? That means that these women, despite acting however the hell they want with zero social repercussion, I'm talking however the hell they want. You know what you're seeing. I know what I'm seeing. We all know what we're seeing. Understand me? Despite there being zero social repercussion, these men will still commit to them. These men will still oftentimes fund their lifestyle. These men will even fund their living situation. These women will oftentimes be able to not work, okay? Make a full living off men who are bending and breaking for women. Let's look at this on the other side, though. If a man acts wrong, when you get labeled as a playboy, when you get labeled as a cheater, if you get labeled as a bad man, if you get labeled as misogynistic, if you get labeled as an asshole, if you get labeled as blah, 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 whatever the fuck anybody wants to put you in when it comes to a category or a box, you will notice that the reverse for you is not true. You will start to have less options. You will have women who do not like you. You will have women who band together and will purposefully tell one another not to talk to you. This is completely opposite when it comes to the way that men act despite women's bad behavior. So let this sink in, because this line right here, okay? Just let this sink in. Men support women and women support women. So if you ask yourself, if women are supporting women, if the conversations is consistently, you go girl, you don't need him, you're a boss, you're the best, you're a 10, you're a dime, you can replace his dumb ass, that broke motherfucker don't deserve a high value queen like you, you can slay, go shake that ass, right? You're so hot, oh girl, you're fucking hot. Right? Women support women, they have no issues with it. Men support women. Oh my God, can I get a date? Oh God, you're so sexy. Can I take you out? Okay, men support women. Women support women. Nobody is supporting men. Men do. And what I mean by that is I'm not expecting a woman to support a man in any way, shape, or form. If you're a grown-ass man, you should have your own balls and you should be able to build something for yourself in every way, shape, and form. But let's just cut the bullshit here for a second. The world does not want men to communicate. The world does not want men to hold each other to a standard. The world does not want men to communicate and band together with one another. What the world actually wants is you completely divided, alone, isolated. So then when you're sitting in your house all day, bored, sad, depressed, don't understand how to navigate life, you have to understand that this is all extremely calculated. So a good litmus test for this is If you've spent more time, right, consuming content from my channel this week, okay, listening to my dumb ass sit and talk to you, if you've nurtured a relationship mentally, which is not even a real relationship, but if you have had conversation back and forth in your head between the camera of me speaking and the videos I upload on this channel with yourself, if you have done more sitting and watching me, for example, than you have nurturing a relationship with one of your friends, one of your bros in your hometown or in your community, that right there is where the exact issue starts. You see, here's what happens when men actually communicate and support each other. And yes, I understand that this takes a higher level of thinking. I do. This takes you being able to zone in and focus on the nuances of life and how things are really fucking moving. Because if you can't see how things are really moving, you will naturally gravitate towards men who fall into hedonism easily. And the conversations are low value, and the conversations are based around how you feel, and the conversations are oftentimes going to be based around partying and escaping the real world. It's escapism. The second you start to actually communicate and have higher level conversation and force your brother, okay? Force your friend, force your brother into conversation that involves a higher level thinking, you're going to start to actually expand their mind. You're going to start to actually expand your mind, and you're going to tap into what I like to call your inner masculinity, okay? This is extremely important because men don't know how to do this. So the only way you can tap into your inner God-given creativity, the only way you can tap into feeling like a man is when you go and build something, and building something stems from you, not only, I don't even want to use the word networking because it's so overthrown, but developing a true bond, a true relationship, of like having somebody in your corner that you can talk to. When you curate those male-driven relationships, you start to become unstoppable. You will operate at a different wavelength. You'll start to naturally want to make moves in business. You will naturally want to start to level up. You will naturally want to walk through life in a way where they hold you to a standard and you hold them to a standard. So if you look around at what's happening, and men never hold themselves to a standard, okay? Women will consistently support women, and men will support women regardless of behavior. What do you think is going to happen to the modern day man? He's going to fall into having fewer and fewer friends. He sure as hell ain't getting laid because he doesn't know how, because he doesn't know the things that make him attractive. He's 100% going to have fewer and fewer male companionships that can help elevate him, and he's going to be lost. And when he's lost, he's not going to feel himself. He's not going to know how to tap into his own God-given creativity, and he's going to sit there and wonder why he's even here in the first place. If we as men want to change the world, if we as men don't like something, if we as men see something that's broken, in some way, shape, or form, I believe it's our duty to fix it. Okay? I really do. And this is the difference between how I think versus how a lot of maybe red pill creators or a lot of different, manosphere creators think, is what they do is they're going to say things like, let the world burn. It's not your problem to deal with. Okay, cool. If everybody thinks that way, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The world around you is not going to be very pleasant. So when you're this high value guy, let's say crushing it, making money on his path, on his purpose, and all that's happened is you're surrounded by a bunch of low value promiscuous women because that's the way the trend of the 99% is going, and the entire world around you is full of men who you don't even have any interest in speaking to or being with anyways, you're still going to be alone. In some way, shape, or form, if you're here and you don't like the way things are, it's your duty to fix things, and it starts with your inner reality right here in your home, in your hometown, in your community. You talk to your friend, you grow and you go and you curate that relationship, you grow that brotherhood. You start to have somebody in your corner. You say, hey, come hell or high water, no matter what the fuck happens, we're going to have each other's back. You're going to have my back. I'm going to have your back. We're going to elevate each other up so that way we become bulletproof. We become strong. The amount of fear woven into most men. I mean, look at how the average man is just in so much fear, okay? The fear of finances and going broke, the fear of not being enough in the eyes of a woman, the fear of not being able to provide or to protect for a family, the fear that when you look at how money is, how that inflation or markets will crash and you'll be starving, fear that you're not good enough to talk to the woman, fear that you're a loser, right? Fear that you're not on the right path or the right purpose and you're getting older, therefore you don't want to die and become a failure. These are the things men go through. The only way a man can get through those hurdles and get through those barriers is if he has people in his corner. And the average man today has no support system. Okay? If the average man started supporting one another the way that women will support one another, the dating game would change like this. Men would stop giving attention and likes and double taps to promiscuous chicks showing off their fat asses on the internet. Men in 1 second would force a level or a standard, a level of niceness and respect from their women, or they will refuse to talk to them or date them. You understand that you have the power and you have the control. See, this is one of the funniest things too that I think men don't realize. You have the power. You're strong. So every single minute you spend behind this screen watching me, watching somebody else, watching some influencer speak to you and speak to you and speak to you and speak to you, and you're still all alone in your bedroom, not talking to any man in real life, that is the exact problem. Because you understand that it's very, very easy to just have things operate as is. What that means is you're still going to have a generation of people who just go to work and accept things for how they are. You're going to have a generation of people who just don't have a lot of morals, boundaries, or standards. You're going to have a generation of men who don't give a fuck. Do you think that that's healthy? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.